been writing for a long time. Got into going back to open mics after like a 5 or 6 year period of time without writing anything. A relationship that I was in for 7 years ended, and kind of like, here we go. We got a lot of poems to write now. A lot of stuff to talk
Catharsis.
about. Yeah. So if you guys are familiar with Ricky, which I feel like you guys probably are or have seen him before, he actually pulled me out to Proud Slam, and that started my rediscovery of open mics, writing poetry, and then eventually slam. So here we are after, a little bit over a year now, I think, of getting back into writing. So it's interesting. This first poem, you guys have probably heard it. If you have, I'm sorry. If you haven't, I'm also sorry. But it's called He's Talking About Fitting In, I think. But for sure, I usually just call it like Heartbreak Kid. And so, the Heartbreak Kid starts going to open mics, preaching the gospel of all the torn versions of his heart he had to walk over just to get here, singing melodies into bodies of work the Holy Spirit has yet to touch and still. He becomes intentional, turns free speech into Sunday night impact because he is not excused from the wrestling match of consequences that come from saying too much. See, he hates it here. Standing in rooms in front of strangers, the clap hands at his mistakes louder than they applaud the kid that had to learn from them. He recites his trauma so much it becomes proverb, becomes theme song, becomes a stone cold word that began it all. And so, the Heartbreak Kid learns to write poetry, turns rock climbing into self-discovery, turns each fall and all the accidents into triumph over mental injury, turns, why the fuck did I think to do this in the first place? Into white people are crazy for making this the extreme sport that it is. He begins to chalk his hands, dressing up the trauma so well he stops noticing it. His reflection leans into a smile when he cries now because the pain reaches for the pen before he does, ready to piece together a gymnastics class of a poem, and to top it all off, he learns to make people laugh through it. He learns to make people laugh through the pain more than he does. His validation only lasts as long as the poem. He comes to the conclusion that he is the rug in every furniture store. The first thing to greet people when they walk in, but they done walked all over him so much they forgot he was here, that he has something to offer, something bigger than the trauma, woven into such beauty, this tapestry, this tall tale of a trauma-dumping boy, and so Heartbreak Kid discovers poetry slams or cheap therapy because he just wants someone to listen. He stops writing, starts thinking, well, what's the point of this shit if not the points? He finds that he is the poem, he is the poetry, but he is not the poet. He starts writing, stops telling time, becomes judge of himself, the poetry slam, a new handheld version of acceptance. Whether he wins or loses, he is accepted here, accepted like his 13th reason, a haunting of never being good enough, the knowing, the not knowing, the combination of intrusive thoughts and coffee keep him starving on the mic. He won't dare small talk the audience for change. This is how he plans to create empathy, but he will only create a sacrifice for the crowd. He will only make a meal of himself. And so, the heart breaks the kid. And all you know of him is this. Thank you. So that poem, as I said, if you've heard it before, I'm sorry. If you haven't heard it before, I'm sorry.
Thank you for letting us hear it now.
I think that was officially, I would say, like the first poem I intentionally wrote for slam. And I think that was also one of the first ones that I think I took like a big hit on. I think, as I mentioned earlier, we kind of like take those hits when it comes to scoring poems or getting our poems scored. So it was a vulnerable space for me to be in when I wrote that, because I was like, this feels like the closest version to me, and like I feel like it tells my story of like getting back into open mics, because I started with sad boy shit when I got back onto open mics because of the whole like relationship. And then I used slam, I think, also as an outlet for my own problems. And I learned that that was basically making my problems something to judge or put points to. So I think at this point I've realized that I just want to have fun with it. So that poem I feel like I'm getting a little bit more into and finding it within myself again. I think I'm gonna read one off of my phone just for the jokes, because I like having some witty jokes in there too. This poem is called "Why You Should Fuck with Poetry."
I like the title.
A friend once told me to decorate my home with things sacred to me. So every morning I can wake up appreciating what I see. So I bought a dream. With the last dollar I had to my name, funny thing, in this dream I bought some rope, hoping the knot I never learned how to tie would pull us together. But our inception never saw the light of day. I guess we get what we pay for. My friend later asked, why should I fuck with poetry? Fair question. Because the things we don't write about are deeper than the graves we dig. We bare our soul through every metaphor and simile just to reach a room full of silence. Because the things we don't write about are written all over our faces, and who has time to read our obituaries anyways? Because the things we don't write about, I like going to Taco Bell and finding out they don't have Baja Blast. How the fuck would I order any other drink? You know why I'm here. But let's not forget about the things we do write about. Because the things we do write about are beautiful. They stay up late with us, their hearts fluttering at the thought of romance between pen and paper, fingers and notes app, mouth and mind, because the things we do write about know us. And there is no us without them. They carry our secrets like the lunch money stuffed in our socks, and who knew feet could hold change the way change holds hands, the way hands point fingers, the way fingers pull triggers. Have you ever confused a camera for a gun? A mirror for a casket? Maybe that's why you should fuck with poetry. So you can point and shoot from a different lens.
Ooh, Renee.
I feel like this poem kind of came together as like you ever like have an intrusive thought and then you kind of just like write it down and be like, yeah, we'll do something with it later. I think that's where like this poem came from, because there was a lot of, well, why am I writing? Because like the things that I want to write about me sound like this, but like really they're sounding like this. But then I'm like, how do I piece them all together? And I feel like that poem, I took some intrusive thoughts, especially with Taco Bell. I do like Taco Bell. I do really fuck with Baja Blast. Guilty. It just, I was like one of those things that if I'm writing, I want to be as honest as I can be and incorporate different parts of myself. So I was like, this poem doesn't have anything to do with Taco Bell, but we're about to just throw something. I think I'm gonna do like two more. I have two more is probably good, right?
Yeah.
I can do one.
Two more.
Okay, two. This next poem, I think it's probably one of the, I don't want to say second poems that I wrote towards slam, but I performed it at North Beast. I felt really good about it when I did it at North Beast, because it was, I think, only the second time I performed it in general. So, we'll just get into it. When a peacock becomes a parade, when a boy becomes just enough body to belong, he struts his crown, spreads his wings wild enough to flash this sort of iridescent effect. Call it the glare from the gods. The feathered eyes flow into a frantic ritual, dancing for a love he wishes to carry within himself. Then, for some reason, he looks to me, expecting praise. There's something holy about this moment. To be seen isn't always to be a spectacle. I ain't never been that lucky, but when a crowd snaps pictures of him, then shift their lenses to me. Wait. Hold still? Now I'm the exhibit. And I've never had this many eyes on me before. It feels heavy. The stares feel like baptism. The way water finds you before belief does. It brings me back to the place I inherited my family's faith. Before I could understand amen. I can hear my pop's voice echo. To be born a Christian is the ultimate gift to God. But I wasn't born to be a gift. I cracked the heavens just by existing, born loud enough to make the angels flinch. So I tell him, my name is his name, that God heard his prayers for a brighter future, put a sun on his back like a torch. Now he never has to pray alone in the dark again. If God asks who I thought was the greater gift, I tell him, I don't pray to be a better man than the next. I just pray to be understood human, not a mistake. I guess this is the dance where I prove myself a man. A tightrope walk between too much and never enough. Beauty in one foot, beast in the other. Each step a gamble between stranger and son. And most days, I wonder, who would dare to love me? More of a show than a flock, more sky than safety net. See, this dance into manhood doesn't expose two left feet. It reveals whether the floor can hold this kind of softness. I just hope my two steps, not two left, to build a dance floor in your eyes. So watch me take up space, strut the beauty and masculinity in all its delicacy. Cause I be man, I be beautiful, I be fragile as a feather on the back of a flare, ready to burst, flamboyant by the grace of God. I am what I am, but they say man is of the earth. That attention only feeds his God complex, so make a peacock of me instead. Turn me into a fashion icon, be my paparazzi, call me too much of anything, shit, color my back a bouquet if you have to, I don't care anymore. Don't you want to see? Don't you want to see the big in me? Thank you.
Exactly. Come on.
I feel good about that poem in a way. Like it came from a place of like when you start to see other people shine in poetry, whether it be in slams or open mics. I feel like I had something to like prove, and I was like, let me just put myself out there as like I'm ready to like shine in a way, and just kind of like the utmost confidence that I could present. And I think that's how I wanted to do it. It also came from a workshop, if you guys are familiar with Ariana Monet. She came out to Providence. She was on one of the Cantab teams a couple years back. But the prompt that she had given out was like to use an animal as a mirror for yourself or as a lens for yourself. And I was like, I don't know how I can tie a peacock to religion. And then I started doing like this like rabbit holes worth of research on symbolism with peacocks and like religion. And I was like, okay, so we can make this work somehow. So it came about, did it at North Beach, felt really good about it. Did it at the Lizard Lounge Regional as well. Yeah, it was like really cool to like watch that poem come to life. I'll do one more, if that's
Please. Cool. I would have you keep on going. I mean, you'd stay here all night if it was up to me. But
I got you. I got you with one more. This one is just called Tattoo. To the people that say pain is pleasure, you must think my back be the time capsule more than ground to bury the past in. When my family is in need of prayers, I show them my scars. I show the wounds can heal, but memories can't stop the bleeding. It all started when I asked my mama for a tattoo. Something that'll make me more gift than grief. I thought I was ready for a scar. But scars don't ask for permission, just a body. Something that'll cut against the grain of a good son. A lineage of jailhouse tattoos don't tell stories. They give orders, as in, you better stop crying before I give you something to bleed about. You ever cover your sleeves with mistakes? Scratch sin so deep into your ribs, scrub the guilt off your skin only to find your blood be the poison? I heard not all skin holds the ink, but my pop's skin buries it like a lie. He doesn't know this, but I know when he lies. He says, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. He rolls up his sleeves, there, my name carved into his skin, and somehow this is the closest he's ever held me. But the closest I've ever been held by a needle is numb, like I've gotten so used to the pain, it's pleasure. When I ask him if ink can make anything permanent, he says, a certificate of death, an obituary, an invitation to your memorial service. This life ain't promised, son, not like death is. He goes on about the friends he bled for in the streets that sharpened him into a scar. Now, I don't know if this is my first tattoo or testimony, but my family hasn't stopped bleeding since. I stare at my scars. They ask me how to become more because pain always wants to become more, but I only know how to wear my skin like a pelt of ink that can't forget the needle it came from. Do you see it? How heavy hands don't heal? I ask my mama what she thinks of my back now. The wet falls from the black in her eyes to the black on my back because she's seen ink die under skin like mine before. She says, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And ain't nothing more painful than a father's voice tattooed over a mother's tongue. Thank you.
Renee. Shit. Woo.
I appreciate you guys.
Dang.
Yeah, just an immense amount of thank yous for you guys being here, just being able to share space, and yeah, just hear your poems as well.
Where can we find you on those things called social medias and such?
The things called social media and such. So social media.
We can go offline.
Yeah.
Where can we find you offline too?
Instagram, René Manuel Ramos, RENEMANUEL
All right.
It's long, but we can make it work.
We're gonna make it work.
Other than that, finding me in person, I feel like I'm usually at a lot of different open mics, so shout out to that. So I'm sure we'll see each other again really soon. If you guys are ever interested in coming to Prov Slam,
I definitely want.
We take August off, so unfortunately there's no open mics or anything this month. But September, the 1st and 3rd Thursdays at AS220 in Providence.
Try and stop me.
And the first Thursday back, I believe it's September 4th. Don't quote me on that, but we can follow up on it. The Prov Slam team feature is gonna be that night, so
okay.
Should be a good one.
Nice.
It'll be myself and the rest of the team. There's some amazing poets and that have inspired me to like continue to write and perform. Yeah. But other than that, I feel like that's all I got. Yeah. I appreciate you guys listening to me and just being the amazing people that you are.
Well, we thank you, Renee. So big claps all around.
Thank you. Appreciate it.